I thought I'd do a quick inbox review. This is kit I picked up at Southern Expo. I think it's a relatively new tool. I don't know if there's any dates on the side of it. Not that I can see. But it's the ICM Panzerspahwagen P204F. Kit model 35374. Interestingly, Revell have actually just reboxed this, so if you have the Revell version, as far as I'm aware, it's exactly the same tool, exactly the same kit. I think there's just some slightly different schemes. I think the only scheme this one is in is grey, but we're certainly looking at the side. It's the only option they show us. But I think with the Revell offering, they do some slightly different decals and slightly different schemes. But the actual kit itself is going to be the same tool. Okay, let's get her open. Nice, reasonably sturdy box, which is always a good start. The decals and the instructions, we'll quickly go through those first. So you get one, let's get this out of the way as we've got it, one small decal sheet with some crosses, numbers, number plates. Hopefully, there you go, that's a bit better, it's not quite so burnt out in the light. Looks quite nice, feels fairly thin. I have had some bad experience with previous ICM decals. That was much older kit, so hopefully these are a lot better. They certainly look nice and clean, clear. We shall see, I guess, is the answer there. Instructions. Nice thing about these is it is colour. You get some colour call-outs and stuff on here. The paints are all in Model Masters, which seems a slightly odd choice. Well, I think Model Masters is predominantly American. You think they'd have a few options, but there we go. A little bit of information on the actual vehicle. Sprue call-out. Interestingly, you've got a different type of turret here, which isn't used. I don't know whether it's used in for obviously a slightly different version. Perhaps that's used in the Revell kit, I don't know. Or there are other versions out there, I'm sure. Then we go straight on to the instructions. Nice, clear, bright instructions. They're real dramas. You pretty much start the cab. You've got an engine, which is nice. Looks like it's reasonably detailed. Quite a number of parts there, all going together. Your steering columns. Looks like you can steer from both ends of the vehicle. And then we really just go through ammunition, lots of things, and then you've got the sides, panels, bits and pieces going on here. I don't know what these are, I assume they're more ammunition cases. We go through here, the sides going on, sort of the roof, etc., top panels. It's nice. They're nice, clear. They're not jumbled. It's pretty obvious where each section only has a couple of parts going on, so that makes it nice and easy. Particularly if you're new to the hobby, this is probably quite a good choice of kit if you're into armour. It goes through, as you can see. Then we're going to put in the sort of underneath the wheels, so on and so forth. What's nice is the inner parts are separate from the wheel hub. So that should make life fairly easy to paint. Then we've got the sort of Pioneer tools going on, various lumps and bumps and handles and things. And then we get into the turret, which I imagine is the last piece. Looks like there's a reasonable amount of detail in the turret. Looking at this, the gun barrel, various bits and bobs. And then final last few pieces. And then we've got the colour call-outs here. Now it looks like we actually have got two colours, sort of green. In fact, let's see what colour C is from the front here, just because the picture shows green. It's a European green apparently. And then we've got D, which I'd imagine is a sort of fairly standard German grey colour. And then it looks like we've even got a third option, and a fourth option in fact, which is interesting. German Police Force, Central Russia, September 1941, which is all in a flat white. So yeah, you've got a bit to play around with there, some slightly different schemes. The plastic comes all in one bag, so it's very nice feeling plastic, it's quite well protected. type of bag that can be resealed. Let's get these out here. And you've got rubber wheels. Let's take a quick look. Separately packaged. Again, the quality of the plastic feels good. Rubber tyres. Well, I don't know. I know some people don't like rubber tyres, but I wouldn't bother me. No complaints there. There's no seam line down the middle, so that's always a good start. Obviously, you're going to have a tiny little bit of clean up. Hopefully, you can hide that to a certain degree inside. But they look quite nicely moulded. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. Let's stick them back in there out of the way. Oh, one thing obviously you have to watch out for is parts do have a habit of falling off, especially when lots of sprues are rubbing together. Okay, so we've got some tan plastic. We've got 1, 2, 4 main sprues. In fact, let's start with the main sort of chassis parts here. It all looks nice and crisp, certainly. No complaints there with the quality of the moulding. There doesn't seem to be any flash, nasty sink marks, or anything particularly horrible there. Obviously, if you're going to show off the interior with the engine, there's going to be a few injection pin marks that are going to need some filling and cleaning up. But generally, the quality of the plastic is good. Nicely detailed. You can see the engine parts there. Lots of lovely raised rivets. Should look good when you've washed and dry brushed. No, that's really nice. And again, much the same here. It's really nice, crisply done. Nice clear. Some lovely texture on here. Just the sort of main floor plate in the centre of the vehicle. Again, it's all lovely raised rivets. There's no flash. Obviously, we've got the doors and things here, which if you wanted to pose them open, you've got detail on the inside. No injection pin marks, which is always a good start. In fact, some of these, the injection pin marks are actually, the injection pins are here, so you're not actually pushing on the part to get them out the mould. Obviously, some of these have, although this is going to be on the bottom, you won't see these parts. No, that's another good sprue. These are your wheel hubs by the looks of things. Again, they're nice, nicely detailed, no flash, nothing untoward there. And then we've got all the last bits and pieces here. So again, we've got the 2 turrets. Subtle differences on the back here by the looks of things. Slightly different to the rear. I'm sure there's a few others I'm just not noticing. Steering wheels are protected nicely with these round parts here. Sprue gates are reasonably small, so cutting off these smaller parts shouldn't be too much of a drama. Various engine components. We've got the main gun. Unfortunately, it's in 2 parts, so you're going to have to be quite careful there, cleaning it up. Got the main machine gun there. It all looks pretty good. Yeah, no, again, I can't see anything really wrong with any of those parts. There's no flash. They're all clean. They're all fairly crisp. No, that looks like a lovely moulded little kit. And I picked that up for 18 quid. I think the going rate for these is around the £20 mark. You know, obviously the proof will be in the building, but you know, if you were a beginner to armour, you know, for that sort of money, and I would say that's a good, going to build into quite a nice little model. You know, and obviously if you're fairly new to it, you haven't got the complexity of the tracks, which is always probably a bonus. You've just got the wheels and things to deal with, so that's good. And as I say, the detail is quite nice. No figures, which would be nice, but I'm sure there's plenty out there you can buy to add to it. Anyway, cool. Well, thanks for watching. Hopefully that was useful. See you again soon.